Alrighty, so we have our tic-tac-toe program. We're getting to the end of the tic-tac-toe program, probably 1 or 2 videos left for this, and then we'll start the turtle program, and yeah, we'll keep going from there. So we have our tic-tac-toe board. We just had like kind of a tangential video that let us draw symbol. So it'll, like make any kind of single character symbol for your board. What we're going to do in this video is, at the very least, we're going to make a def create tic-tac-toe board, and then we're also going to make a def play tic-tac-toe. Just because, yeah. So we're going to be able to play tic-tac-toe, and I think it might be too much for one video to have also where like we're checking to see if the game is over or not, because it's just like a lot of if statements, or a lot of, and or in an if statement. So we're just gonna get to it. Create tic-tac-toe board. That's easy enough. That's just gonna be create board 3x3, right? We're playing classic tic-tac-toe. So create a tic-tac-toe board is just going to call create board 3, and it'll actually return that. So that's it, right? Just creates a 3x3 board for tic-tac-toe. Let's just do that. Okay. Now to play tic-tac-toe, what we're going to do is we're going to first start by making a board. So we'll say our board is equal to create tic-tac-toe board. And then we have the board. How crazy do we want to get? Let's get kind of nice here. So I'm going to say player 1 equals input, please input player 1's name. And we'll do the same thing with that. Player 2 equals input, please input player 2's name. You know what? Instead of player 1, we're going to call it the X player's name and the O player's name. Capital X and the O player's name. Okay. So we'll call it player X and player O. Okay. Player X and player O. What do we want to do next? Then I guess we're just going to have a counter for what, if it's an even number or an odd number. So it's like a turn counter. So turn counter, and we'll start it at 0. And then we'll just start getting into it, right? So this play tic-tac-toe function, before I said I wanted input only really like in my main program, but for this, because like I don't want to have to make all of this over and over again. I don't know. I'm just putting in a function. Whatever. It's fine. I like it that way. Functions are nice, and then you just put in the main program just a little bit. Okay. Actually, probably what we should have is player O and player X here, and that's fine. Like, we'll give it the players. No. No input for play tic-tac-toe. Whatever. Okay. Turn counter 0. And then we're just going to say if turn counter modulus 2 is equal to 0, that means that it must be the first player's turn. And so this is going to say must be X player turn, right? The first player is usually X in tic-tac-toe. And then we're going to say, okay, player X input equals int player X, please input the X coordinate, and then with a space in front of it. What am I doing? It's supposed to be int input There we go. And this will be, we're going to make a X chord and a Y coordinate equals none. What is it? Nothing? None. There it is, equals none. Y coordinate equals none. And we're going to say, all right, the X coordinate is going to be equal to what they say for the X coordinate. And then we'll say Y coord. Why is this? What? Okay. Y coord equals, and we're just going to say the same thing for this, except instead it's going to be Y coordinate. And then do we want to confirm? Yeah, let's confirm. So I'll make another one over, the confirm can just be right here. Confirm equals, no, I'm not going to do confirm. Okay. So then they type, just for now. All right, they're going to type those two things in, and then the X and the Y coordinate, and then we're going to go to draw symbol at all that stuff. Great. So we're then going to draw symbol at X chord, Y chord. What does it take next? Draw symbol takes then the board and then the symbol. So the board that we're using is board, and the symbol, because it is X player turn, it's going to be an X. And I will say that board is equal to draw symbol there, but I don't think it matters. And then we're going to say elif turn counter modulus 2 equals 1. That means it must be O player's turn. Must be O turn. And I'm pretty sure we can just do this again, just with a little bit. Oh, why did I do that? Okay. Except it's going to be player Y and player Y, and we're going to put an O, and it's not player Y, it is player O, player X and player O. So this should draw things to the board, an X on 0 and an O otherwise. And then I'm going to say at the end of it, after the if statements, we're going to say input, or, game over equals none to start. And we're going to say game over equals input, and we're just going to say is the game over, and we'll give them a little thing like yes, no. Okay. And so we're going to actually start this as false, and then it's going to be while game over is not equal to, oh wait, no, it's just not false, right? While game over is not false, then, or is not equal to false, I forget how this works. Well, we'll just say it. While the game over is not false, we'll be looping through all this, so we're actually going to have to boom, 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 boom. And then I think that should be good for now. So let's see if this works at all. So we're not going to create a chessboard. In our main, we're going to create a, or we're going to play tic-tac-toe. Play tic-tac-toe. So this should call our play tic-tac-toe program or function, which also calls the draw symbol function, and that function actually ends up calling the print function, right? Print board. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, so actually we need to be, that's the one thing we're missing here. We're always going to print board, and the board we're going to print is this board from up here that we created before. And now we should be good. Okay, so we run this out now. Let's try it. Okay, well, that's good. While it's not equal to false, not double equal to false. Okay, can I... Does that work? Yes, all right, player X's name. We're going to call it PX. Oops, PX. And player O name, we're going to call it PO. Oh, duh. While game over is equal to false. Gotcha. Right. While it's not game over, while game over is false, then we want to keep going. And once game over becomes true, then right. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Ooh. All right, that's going to be a problem. We'll get there in a second. But let's see if it just even runs right now. Player X, player O, player X coordinate. We're going to place it 1, 3. It is not over. But then, yeah, okay. So cool. It does place it at 1, 3. That was player X. The problem is, and that's what I was saying before to myself a little bit, is I'm saying while the game over is equal to false, we're going to keep looping. But then on the bottom here, we store whether the game is over or not as yes or no, right? So I typed no, which means the game shouldn't be over yet. But it said, oh, well, like no is not false, so it's going to stop looping. One thing I also want to do is I'm going to print the board before they play their move. Yeah, not... And then again after. Okay. I'll also say, all right, I'll print the board if the turn counter is equal to 0, I will print the board the first time. But then other than that, I only want to print afterwards. I also should be saying turn counter equals turn counter plus 1. And that way we're like counting the turn counter every time. And instead of game over, we're just going to say, I don't know, check, whatever. And then if check equals yes, and I'll say, or check equals yes, we're going to set game over equals true. And elif check equals no, the game's not over, or check equals just another version of no. And here you could type like tons of different versions of no or yes. Then we're going to keep game over as not double equal, setting value false. And then else we're going to say we're going to have to put this in a while loop. So while check is not equal to yes, or check no. And check is not equal to no. So if they don't type yes or no, and that means we can get rid of this part over here. While check is not equal to yes and check is not equal to no, what? So here's the problem that I'm having. I want to be able to loop if they put anything other than yes or no. But then if they do put yes or no, okay, this is the issue. So I can have these unindented. We're going to say check is equal to whoops. What am I doing here? Okay, so here's what's going on. This while loop is say we get check, right? And they should be typing in y or n for yes or no. If check is not equal to y and it's also not equal to no, that means it's not either of them, right? So we need to say like bad input and then just ask again, is the game over? Yes or no, right? And this will loop forever until they type in a yes or a no. Because if check is equal to yes, then that means it's equal to one of these two things that'll happen, right? It's not both not equal to y and not equal to n. Yeah, okay. And then we get to this if and else, stating the game over, changing the game over state. And if it stays as false, we'll just loop back again on line 103. If it goes to true, we should leave. And I think it should be good now. And now you see why, by the way, I didn't want to like check for a winner yet, right? So let's check it out. Shoot. Bad input. Boop. That's all. What's going on? Why can't I scroll? There we go. Run it. Player X's name, player X. And player O, player X coordinate. Well, it's kind of unfortunate that this input gets in the way of my board over there. I'm going to go to 2, 2. Is the game over? No, it's not over. Player O's coordinate. I still can't see the board. They're going to play in a corner. They're going to play at 3, 1. All right, I can finally see the board. Okay, that's great. Maybe I should print the board, like 2 blank boards first. Is the game over? I'm going to say, yeah. I'm going to say, wow. Bad input. Is the game over? Great. I'm going to say, no, the game's not over yet. All right, player X is going to go to 1, 2. It's not over yet. And so they went over there. Player O is going to, I guess, block at 3, 2. Uh-oh. Now I'm in the way. There we go. They'd block over there. So it's working. Let's see if our game over works. So I'm going to say, you know what? The game is over. Okay. And then it ended. So I feel like this video is long enough. So I'm going to pause it there for now. Clearly we have some issues, right? We need to have the board appearing a little bit nicer, though. I wonder if I zoom out, if that's like, is that even an issue? If I zoom out and run it, it still is an issue. Oh man. So if I go to like 3, 1, it's not over. If I go to 5, 5, it's going to say invalid input too high, but then it still goes to the other player's turn. Yes, all right. There are a couple issues with this, but I feel like this video is too long already. So we've got a start, right? Can I cancel? Okay, great. We've got a start to our play tic-tac-toe program. Clearly, though, like as it starts going, you start having interactions happening. It starts getting more complex really quickly. That's it for this video. We'll do the next one to try and iron out some of the issues with this tic-tac-toe, board playing. Cool. There we go.